Good evening, everyone. So, here is my sixth solution, or the idea that I have been working on or coming up with. That is flood fighters. So, there are firefighters, right? This concept is basically applying the same idea, but that's focused more towards floods, or focused completely on floods, basically. It could be a combination of experienced veterans in firefighting, community emergency services, lifeguard services, but that's just not it. You have designated centers of these, let's call this firefighter centers instead of just, sorry, flood fighters centers instead of firefighters. So, what would these flood fighter centers do? They would contain their own helicopter, let's just say for flood rescue and emergencies. Or they would contain their own boats, inflatable boats, set of people, obviously the rescuing staff that will be active on duty in case of these floods. And you build such flood rescuing centers throughout flood prone areas, that is Queensland and New South Wales mostly, or you place them throughout the country in every city's area. Perhaps, for example, let's take Gold Coast for example. So you have Southport, you have Surfers Paradise, you have, I mean, like, you take every single area designated and you have it, and there is, and it contains its own flood fighting center. That's very complicated, but anyhow, so these centers would essentially contain all the basic requirements, and they would be specialized in handling flood emergencies and evacuations and search and rescues. And people would be trained, that would be part of it as well, which is the second element, that the personnel that it would keep would be more focused on handling floods. A lifeguard's duty might be handling the pool or the beach, but they don't certainly expect the sharp objects or stagnant water and weird stuff like that a person might experience in flood. So you basically train people to handle floods, rescuing in floods, and sorry, taking steps that can handle flood-related emergencies and scenarios, and you go on with that. And yeah, these centers should be able to. Their pros would be respond immediately in flood emergencies and scenarios, which would probably become a lot more common in the next few years. And they help people with evacuations and help them with all sorts of things. The quick emergency service. It's like there are firefighters. These would be the flood fighters, and floods are probably more common, I guess, and they're causing more damage than fires have been, especially in Queensland and New South Wales areas, which have been getting lots of rainfall.